Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, let's get into the news this Thursday morning. And of course, Biden is out again and away from his handlers, and he rages when somebody asks us a simple question. This is why this man doesn't stick around to answer questions from reporters who haven't been pre-screened already, because you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. I don't know where his tablecloth wearing dress of a wife is right now. That's her as his primary handler. But this dude flipped out. He went rage mode when apparently a reporter or somebody that was attending the event asked him a simple question, or actually saved some facts about how people don't want him to run for president again, that nobody wants him, and he absolutely flips out on this. It says red polls, Jack. You guys are all the same Biden stamp, said a reporter asking about the New York Times poll showing 64% of Democrats don't want him to run again. Yeah. Doesn't take much to get set this guy off. Joe Biden on Tuesday hosted a White House congressional picnic on the South Lawn. Joe Biden blew his top when a reporter confronted him about your recent New York Times poll that showed Democrats want to dump him in 2024. According to the new poll, Bolton Biden approval rating hit 33%, with 64% of Democrats wanting to dump Joe Biden in 2024 and replace him with someone younger. What's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again? A reporter asked Joe Biden after he walked away from the lectures and Biden's snap. So let's go to take a look at this right here.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the polls. Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the polls. Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
Nobody wants Potato Joe running for office again. We'll do some push-ups. Let me tell you about Corn Pop. Right. Do some CAD, you can keep me push-ups. Can you put me push-ups? This guy's absolute loon. This guy doesn't belong anywhere near the Oval Office. He doesn't belong anywhere in the White House. He actually probably belongs in jail, leading the Biden crying family. I mean, just a quick look into what's happening with his, of course, crackheads, the son, who continues to have more and more reveal about his laptop, his iCloud, his iPhone, but apparently the media is too busy covering other things to actually investigate this, because we know if this was Don Jr., every single newscast would be about Don Jr.'s iPhone or iPad or whatever. But of course it's not, because Biden is a Democrat and these people just continue to suck up to him every moment they get. But when we do have a moment of real reporting, which this guy did, actually calling out Biden and saying, hey, nobody wants to vote for you, and he's right. And then Liz Cheney is politically collapsing as her upcoming primary disaster is approaching. We're gonna see how the lamestream media as Queen the J6 committee is falling apart. We're gonna see how even the same legacy media is now admitting that her political days are numbered and sticking to the very end of this video, and I'll reveal why the days of Liz Cheney are indeed coming to an end. You are not gonna want to miss this. Greetings everyone, patriots all across the globe. Let's dive right in here. Liz Cheney. Liz was, what do we say about Liz? I mean, I've got to say on the outset, I don't know if I recall seeing such an explicit disparity, such a glaring contradiction between the way the legacy media views Liz Cheney and the way her very own constituents view her. I mean, this goes beyond Biden. If you think it through right, bike riding Biden, obviously there's a massive discrepancy between how Biden is perceived by the fawning left-wing activists disguised as journalists in the lamestream media, and the way he's perceived by the vast majority of the public right. But when all is said and done, most Democrats are going to support him were he to run again in 2024. There'll be a lone. I mean, Biden literally has no base. Independents have abandoned him. Latinos are abandoning him. Young voters between the ages of 18 and 29 are banning him with 19% support. But the hardcore Dems, they're all lead right? But when it comes to Liz Cheney, old warmonger lives, her own Republican constituents have virtually all abandoned her. All the while, the lamestream media continues to tout her as the Winston Churchill of our day, even the ultra-liberal, borderline illiterate Joy Behad. The View is openly declaring Liz Cheney a hero, a model of courage, and a champion for justice for all. In fact, Yahoo News, that's right. Yahoo News even tried to shame Cheney's constituents, blasting her primary opponent for marching in parades back home in Casper, Wyoming. All the while Liz Cheney, the hero of heroes, was back in D.C. valiantly trying to save on a republic from ruin. But alas, it ain't working. According to the latest polls, the lamestream media is all over the phases when it comes to the support of warmongering lives. The latest poll has Liz Cheney down, get this, 30 points to a Trump-endorsed primary challenger Harriet Hageman. Hageman is clocking in at 56% support while Cheney is barely clinging the 26% support, and things have gotten so bad that lamestream media that has been unfailingly touting Liz as the Churchill of our age, the hero of J6, that same media is now this week admitting that Cheney is politically imploding. She has virtually no chance of winning her primary in mid-August. CBS News is reporting on a recent poll that found that only 17% of Republicans across the nation approve of Cheney, 7-8%, but no, while only 70% of Republicans approve of Cheney. Is it interesting? It's 75% Democrats approve of her. What? Why is the media always signed with what the Democrats approve of? Have you ever noticed that 75% of Democrats support Liz Cheney? So well done, by gosh, we better at the border do? I mean, could it be that the lamestream media is just the public relations mouthpiece for the Democratic Party? I wonder if that's the case. And so it's obviously no coincidence that Cheney has been reduced to begging Democrats to cross over and register as Republicans to vote for her in the primaries. I mean, this hit you. Things are so pathetically bad for this woman, whatever that is. By the way, the undefinable woman, things are so bad for her that she's actually openly begging Democrats to help her win the primary. And that fits perfectly with who's funding Cheney. I mean, obviously, if she's only getting 26% support and Wyoming 17% support across the board with Republicans nationally, it's obvious that GOP faithful are not funding her campaign. Well, it turns out they're not. Major Democrat donors are putting up tens of thousands of dollars for Cheney. It's being reported that film producer Jeffrey Katzenberg, a huge Obama and Hillary supporter and fundraiser, he's donated over $40,000 to change his campaign, and he's hardly alone. A number of Democrat donors are artificially propping up Cheney's campaign with a total of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Unfortunately, as many Republicans are openly observing, like Wyoming's own senator, there aren't enough Democrats in Wyoming for Cheney to win. Oh, Wyoming is basically a 70-30 state. Over 70% of its voters are Republicans, and very conservative ones that, and so again, even the lamestream media is already beginning to write Liz Cheney's political obituary. Remember Yahoo News? Here's their latest. Liz Cheney faces uphill battle in Wyoming ahead of primary elections. An uphill battle? Are you serious? She's down 30 freaking boys. We're a bone-in, that's not an uphill battle. Alright. That's a political graveyard. That's the political equivalent to getting slaughtered. Look at the latest betting markets. Hageman his favorite to crush Cheney by 92 cents on the dollar. I mean, that's what Yahoo News calls an uphill battle. 8 cents worth my mile. You can't make this stuff up. So what's going on here? Right? What is the legacy media willfully missing in all of this? So what's really happening with Liz Cheney? Well, what we have to understand is that the old neocon political paradigm, the paradigm that once provided the supposed that consensus for the Republican Party, is represented by the Bushes and the McCains and the Romneys. That paradigm is basically dead. It was an older 20th century globalist paradigm that advocate for open borders in corporate capitalism, all the while giving a condescending nod to conservative culture, war issues like abortion and gay marriage and the like. These were Republicans that had no problem shipping our manufacturing and industrial jobs overseas, all the while getting the U.S. military involved in all kinds of conflicts around the globe to defend the so-called liberal world order. That political paradigm is dead. That ship has sailed. Republican voters are now far more working class as more and more former Democrats have defected over and joined the Republican Party over the last half-decade, far more socially conservative with more and more pro-life and pro-traditional family Latino voters defecting over the party. And the GOP rank and file are increasingly rejecting political ideology in favor more protecting cultural identity. They want secure borders, they want their manufacturing brought home. They want their cultures, customs and traditions honored and revered and protected rather than slandered, scorned and impugned. That's the Republican Party of today and Liz Cheney, and her father. They're just politically drastic. They represent an old paradigm that, ironically, is more in line with a thoroughly liberal globalist Democratic Party than it is today with the ultra-mega Republican Party. So Liz Cheney's days are over. The new ultra-mega Republican Party has begun, and come August, Liz Cheney's gonna find that out the hard way. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on how the liberal world order is indeed crumbling everywhere we look. You are not going to want to miss that. Thank you very much. WWG1WGA. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button to watch the next episode.